Alrighty folks, I am so pumped for today. Welcome back to Adobe Live. My name is Voodoo Val and I am going to be your host for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge this morning. Are you guys excited or what? I am so pumped. So if you're over on the YouTube channel, please come over to behance.net/live because that is where I'm going to be reading the chat. That is where our moderators post all the helpful resources and things that I discuss here on the stream, and it's an excellent place to make friends. So if you want to make some design friends, if you want to hang out with the parties happening and pick up some freebies and some resources, please come on over here. I would love to greet you. I see Frank in chat. I see Jennifer, Sam Peterson, the one and only, General Kenobi, hello there. Kingsley, good to see you. Steve Festus Casaboom, the man with the name, it is good to see you. Vikram, Alejandro, Z, Tim, Chris, Nourish, Odari, it's good to see you. Thanks for the love on Twitter, by the way, Odari. I appreciate it. Andres, it's good to see all of you folks. Thank you so much for joining me. Tim Mobest, Tim Mobeast. I will never join the Behance chat. Oh, okay, yeah. As he says in the Behance chat. It's good to see you this morning. But yeah, let's jump into how you folks can get involved with the challenge and all of that good stuff before we dive into our work for the day. So this is the challenge page. If you head over to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop, you will come to this landing page. You'll know you're in the right place because you will see July 20th through July 26th through August 20th at the top, and you can scroll down here and see that every day we start releasing one challenge to you. You can click Get Started to download the starter file or watch the video. If you don't see this exact date up at the top, you're probably watching from the future, so all you have to do is scroll down to the bottom of the page, find the July through August challenge date range, and you will find all of the challenges plus starter files plus links to the videos. Another thing you can do is join the Discord. If you jump over to this URL right here, bit.ly/PS Discord, you want to make sure that P and S are capitalized because if you don't, you may find yourself in the wrong server, but if you go to this exact URL, you will find this nifty page right here. This is where everyone is posting their challenge entries. This is where everyone is getting feedback from mentors and all kinds of cool stuff. It is where B Graphic posts caricatures of me that I love. Excellent job, B Graphic. Thank you so much. It is also where you can come up to the pinned messages and see all the freebies and things that I have posted for you, as well as case study pro tips, which I need to post more because I'm starting to kind of put more stuff into my own case study, and I'd love to help you folks along the way. The last thing I'd like to go over is I'd like to pull up my my little resource pages here. If you are curious about the Create Waves contest, because all of our challenges are ocean themed according to the Create Waves contest for this month, you can come over to the Adobe Creative Cloud blog post, Create Change, Create Waves, to find out more about the challenge and get some cool resources and inspiration. You can also go to the Create Waves campaign page on the oceanagency.org, and you can find the digital toolkit and more information about the Ocean Agency and all that good stuff. And you can also come to the digital toolkit and download all of the assets that you are allowed to use for free, so long as you are using the assets for the challenge for the contest. So I hope you folks will download those, maybe use some of these assets to create some wonderful works of art and submit it to the contest for a chance to win, to be featured in a museum, and raise awareness about ocean conservation and the wonderful creatures that live within. Today, however, we're going to jump into challenge number 8. Challenge number 8. And challenge number 8, if I can pull up my Photoshop, is a challenge about creating a template for Instagram. It says design a 3-panel Instagram template that can be used to publish your creations online. So we're going to create a template this morning that is a 3-panel, like I have the artboard set up here. So if you guys have ever seen those Instagram posts where it's like a 3-span piece that kind of all connects in together, stuff like that, kind of like you can see I have this wave kind of created right here in my piece. That is what we're going to be doing today. So I am going to hit T on my keyboard to select my type tool. I'm going to click here on this text just to open this artboard. And I am going to actually come in here and hide all of these things except for the the arc that I have done here. So I'm going to hit G just to group that all together. And if I open all of these artboards, you can see that if I hide this little graphic, let me hide that. If I hide these little graphics, you can actually see that I've got these wave pieces in here. But if you look at the first shape that I have done, if I hit Control T or Command T if you're using a Mac, you can see that this is all one piece that I have created. And what I've done is I've kind of split it here so that I can really get this vibe going for kind of a 3-panel piece. And I'm going to show you how I did that and kind of give you a starting place for really putting together kind of a cohesive template. So I know that I want waves that are going to span through my canvas here, and I'm doing that with a pen tool. So let me hide this, and I'm just going to come over here to, this should be artboard 1, right over here. I might actually group all of this stuff and just get this all out of the way so that I don't have to look at it while I'm designing. Okay, so if I come over here to this artboard, if I make a new layer with Control Shift in or Command Shift in, you can grab the pen tool by hitting P on your keyboard, and you can come in and kind of make a wave shape. Now, I'm going to do this wave shape in a very particular way. So if I click outside of my canvas here, and then I click roughly in the same space between my artboards, I can pull this up like so. And then all I have to do is click once here, and because I clicked and dragged, that little armature kind of comes out, and it's going to tell my, my path to continue to follow that arc. So if I click here, it kind of follows that same arc, and then I can click and drag over here on this side, oops, to continue that kind of arcing shape. I can hold Alt to edit it, or I can hold Control and I can actually edit just the armature, and I can even hold Shift to kind of snap that to straight up and down if I want, which I will do. And then I'm going to release all of my hotkeys, and I'm just going to start selecting things. Oops, I want to make sure that there we go. I just want to start selecting things to, or clicking down so that I can make a shape. So I've created my shape here, and I can just come up to the top and say create shape. Now what you'll notice happens here, I don't want anyone to get confused or alarmed or worried about the shape and stuff here. Hopefully, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Daniel's saying too fast to check video and chat together. I want to say, I want to just double check I'm not missing anything. Caught that Val cartoon. Yes, it was really, really cool. B Graphic did an excellent job. Does it indicate on the page how to submit for Create Waves? Yes, there is a hashtag that you can use to post to Instagram using that hashtag and tag the Adobe Gen Create account, and they will see it. That is how you enter into the Create Waves contest. So as I said, I've created this shape, and I don't want you to be alarmed when you don't see it connect through this whole thing here. So basically what's happened is I've got this nice shape, this nice arcing piece here, but it is only showing in the artboard that I actually have selected. So if I'd like to kind of view this on all of my artboards, I could either duplicate this entire thing and copy paste it into all of the artboards, or what I can do is I can come in here, I can Control A, which will select the canvas that I'm working on. If you are not working with artboards, it will select your entire canvas for your project. But if you're working with artboards and you do Command A, it will actually select the entire canvas of just the artboard that you have selected to work on, which is really helpful. So I can select the artboard, make sure I've selected the borders, and I can Control J. So then, oh, actually I need to rasterize or convert this to smart object. I'll convert it to a smart object for now, because if you do that on a shape, it might duplicate the entire shape. But if I'm converted to smart object, when I hit Control or Command J, it will literally only copy just this one portion that I had selected, which is very, very helpful. So I have that selected. Now I can drag this down into my other artboard, like so. I can unhide it. I can center this. Let me see if I can, boom. There we go. And I am going to do the same thing here. So I am going to Control A or Command A and then Control or Command J and do the same thing there. And then I'm just going to drag it down into this artboard, free transform, and I'm going to line it up. And I'm going to do the same thing, Control or Command A and Control or Command J, like so. And that gives me this really nice little wave kind of pattern here. And I wonder if I might need to, oh no, that actually looks pretty good. I thought maybe it was not balanced there, but that actually looks pretty darn good. So now I have this interesting wave that kind of spans the page, which is really cool. Now, how do I make this an interesting graphic, and what am I actually going to plan to do with it? Now, you can decide if you're, going to post to Instagram and you decide that you want to maybe post some of the things that you've worked on during the challenge, or maybe you want to make a totally non-ocean themed different kind of post because maybe you have a personal brand, or maybe you're doing a branding for a client and all that good stuff, and you would like to just create a template that you can use to send to clients to post their own branding stuff on social media. Whatever it is that you want to do, I'm going to show you how to set it up so that you can simply click and drag and use all of the layer styles and things to edit it very quickly. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to name all of these to wave 1, double click wave 2, and double click wave 3. I am double clicking onto the actual title of my layers here in order to edit their name. If you come over here and you double click just in the empty space of the layer, you might find that it opens your layer styles. That is how you quickly open layer styles. It will just pop open for you, but if you click the name itself, it will allow you to rename it, so you don't have to right click and then go to rename and all that good stuff. So I have my waves here, and what I'd like to do is add a color onto these. I want to be able to change the color very easily. You can also alt drag into the next artboard. Yes, you can. So let me actually, I'm going to hide these waves and I am going to demo that because you're absolutely right. If I come in and let me hold this, I should be able to hold alt. Let me kind of come in here. Yes, I can alt drag into the next artboard, and it will basically show this to me, which is really cool. You can also, as you can see, this actually alt dragged into the space above all of the artboards as well, so you can kind of preview and see how everything goes, like so, and then kind of move things around if you want. But you can see when I hold alt over something that is not a shape, you can see it kind of gives me this dueling cursor here, which I can use to duplicate however I like, which is really cool. Okay. So let's get busy here again. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to add a layer style to all of these so that I can change the color very easily. But the first thing I'm going to do is select one of my colors that I know I want to use for this. So I'm going to come into out of Create Waves, go into my own Ocean DCC, and I am going to go into colors. So I have these colors selected, and I would like to kind of select my own color here that I know that I like, so that I can start changing these colors. So I'm going to double click my wave here. I am going to go into color overlay, and right quick I am going to switch myself over to the top of my layer so you can see how I sample a color. So if I open my color overlay settings and I click this here, it actually opens up my color picker, and then you can sample a color. You can either kind of mess around with the color slider here, you can type in a number, a code for a color here, or if you had a color selected, you can actually just come over here and paint drop that like so. So I'm going to add that, and that just gives me a really nice color to this. If it will, oh, it's a smart object. So actually, hold on, I'm going to, oh, actually no, it's not a smart object. You know what the issue was? Let me turn this color overlay back on. And you also want to make sure when you do a cover overlay that your blending mode is set to normal. Okay, I do this all the time. I'm like, why is it not showing? Why is it not there? Why can I not see the color that I've applied? If you set your blending mode to normal, then you'll actually be able to see it. Make sure you have the opacity cranked up, because if you have it, especially if you're working with a black asset and you put it on like color dodge or something, you're not going to be able to see it. So I have my artboard colored now, and I have my little drop down of effects underneath here, which allows me to double click it whenever I want and change my colors up. So I'm just going to do that really quick. I'm just going to do that to these other ones. And once you change something in the color overlay within a file, typically it sets that color overlay to be like the global standard for everything. So you typically just have to turn it on, like double click your layers and hit the color overlay button, and then it just applies whatever you had applied before. So we have this nice wave here, okay? And the next thing I want to do is change the background, which is not going to be super, super tough. I can come in, I'm just going to snag one of my lighter colors that I have here, maybe something like this. And I'm going to come in and just paint bucket all of these backgrounds into kind of a light color. And you can do the same thing if you decide that you want to change them. You can set them up with a layer style if you like. This is good enough for me for right now, but I am going to start kind of dropping in template images and things to really get this party started. So now I have my background, I have my wave, and I might want to get a little bit fancier with my waves. So I might grab, actually, I'm going to multiple select all of these waves. I'm holding Control or Command if you're using a Mac. Hold that down and you can actually select multiple layers within different artboards and things, and Control or Command T to transform them all at once. And you can use your layers or your arrow keys to kind of bump it up and down. Before I transform that, however, I do want to say Control or Command J just to duplicate, and then I will Control T and kind of bump it down, because I am going to want to add a little bit of color to these. I'm going to come in and maybe I'll select a different color here. Let me snag like this color, and I'm going to color overlay. I'm going to bump myself over here again because I'm going to select a different color. Boom. Okay. And then I'm going to select this one and do the same thing. Grab my color overlay, select this color. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to double click, make sure I have my color overlay open. I'm going to select this color. Did that actually... I might have double clicked the other one. Yeah, there we go. Select there, color overlay, boom. Okay, so now I have like kind of an interesting thing going with the layers here. And what I can do is I can snag all of the wave layers that are darker underneath again, and I can transform them to be just a little bit larger if I want. I do have kind of this thing going on here where I did break them up. So if you want to actually shrink them down and break them up separately, like do that step again, you can actually change to kind of get a little bit more variation with your waves. So I'm going to leave it like that so I don't have to go back and do that step for right now. But the next thing I want to do is I'm actually going to use the frame tool because I want to be able to have a really nice like separated portion of this piece where I can start dropping in images. And if you're sending this to a client or you make this for yourself and you want to remember where you wanted to have certain images and things, creating a frame for an image is actually a really great way to do that, because you just have like a little space already created for yourself that kind of denotes where you wanted an image to go. So if I make a new layer, I can come in and grab the frame tool. Your frame tool is K on your keyboard. So if I grab my frame tool, I can come in and draw myself a frame. I kind of line it up with my grid here, if it will allow me to stop right there. And so I have a frame now. And I don't, you know what, I may actually kind of draw it up here first. Because the only thing about doing frames is you kind of want to make sure that you don't have anything underneath underneath what you're drawing out in a frame. Let me make sure I'm doing this properly. You don't want to have anything underneath the frame that you're drawing, because what it might do is actually frame up whatever you're drawing the frame over. So keep that in mind. But I can come in here and I can transform this. Maybe I want whatever image I put here to kind of overlap and go underneath. And I want to, oh, here we go. I want to make sure that this is on its own layer. I'm not actually sure why it's doing that. So here, let's actually try it, because there's another method that you can use frames with. So I'm actually going to just drag in an image. Let's go to our create waves. Let's use the mantas, because you guys know I love mantas. I'm going to drag and drop this manta image in here, and let's say I throw this image in here. Let me turn my background on just so I have my background here. Let's say I throw an image in and I'm like, gosh, this is really cool, but I don't want all of this to be showing all the way up to the edges. So then I can actually drag the frame tool on top of this, and it should frame it up for me. If I can, let me hide these. It should actually frame it up, and I'm not sure. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I should be able to frame it up, and if I bump my my screen over here, I should also be able to transform my frame. So my frame actually moves around. It's almost like kind of a mask. I can actually change the size and shape of my frame if I decide that I want to lock it up a little bit differently. And I can also come in and edit only the image. So the image can actually move around as well. So I can set up some little frames and things to kind of add my image in and make my piece look a little bit more interesting, which I think is really cool. I'm gonna bump this frame down just a little bit so that it just kind of pokes up right there. I don't know if you would actually like to place an image here, but it works. And then I'm gonna come in with the text tool, and instead of copy pasting text in and spacing through it and all that good stuff, I'm actually gonna create some little text regions for myself. Okay, so I'm gonna come in like so. Create some text regions so that I can come back and I can always edit this. The text is going to stay in the same space every time I come in and edit it, which makes things very, very easy for me. So I'm going to line that up like so. I am going to Control J to duplicate this and drag this down to my third artboard over here. And it actually places it over there perfectly for me. When you drag from artboard to artboard, it doesn't just leave it over here and then you have to kind of edit it. It's actually going to throw it over there. You can also come in and just click with your text tool to add some titles, which would be really cool if you decide you want to add some titles. And the last thing I'm going to do to kind of spice this up is we're going to do a quick, I believe I have a couple of minutes here where I could do text on a path. We're going to jump into some text on a path because I would love to kind of spice this up with a little more pizzazz before I leave. And I think that text on a path will actually make this look super, super cool. So you can, let me come up and see, did I hide my shape? Or yeah, I still have my shape. So I still have my shape here. If I hit P on my keyboard, I still have like my little shape. If I free transform, you can see that it's still over here. And one of the things that I can do if I want is I should be able to, let me kind of resize and kind of throw this back where it was. I want to like center it again, boom, is I should be able to, if I had left that in its proper placement there, is I should be able to hit T on my keyboard. I don't know if it's going to activate again because I did turn it into a smart object, but that's okay. We can actually do our own shape real quick. I'm not going to do a fancy shape with the pen tool because I don't want to run out of time. So if you'd like to add text in the shape of your waves towards the bottom, all you would have to do obviously is hit P on your keyboard and you can come in and start drawing out curves, but we'll just do it with a regular shape, which I'm just going to grab like the ellipse tool and I'm going to draw something out right here. Kind of create a shape for us right there. I will change the color just so that you can see this right here. And the last thing that I'm going to do is center it here. You would probably want to change the fill to nothing. Maybe we will actually change the fill to nothing after a while. Hit T on your keyboard, and when you hover over the edge of your shape, it will change the cursor and you can actually start adding text to it. Now, what I would like to do is actually change the color of this. So I'm gonna do real quick, I'm just gonna come in here and I'm gonna hit this just to kind of add that. And then we will turn this to a 0 fill. And that is all the time I have for you today. I'm sorry, I'm rushing a little bit just to get all of this done. So now you know how to set up a frame, you know how to set up some cool text, you know how to type on a path, and how to kind of extend graphics from artboard to artboard, which is really cool. I can't wait to see what you folks come up with for this challenge, what kind of 3-panel amazingness you create in those brains of yours. Please post your challenge entries to the Discord because I would love to see what you make. And tune in tomorrow for cosplay day. If you have an ocean costume, please put it on, take a picture, post it in the Discord because I want to see it. And I'm showing up in costume definitely tomorrow, and I can't wait to show off everything I'm gonna have going on. So I will see you folks later today and tomorrow morning. So until then, happy designing.